Hello, subscribers, viewers. How are we doing on the DNA trail? I done a video that I was going to start doing family trees and helping people out and things like that. Life's got on top of me for a little while. Loads of personal stuff happening with the older generation in the family, and I've come back to the family tree, and I can't log on to my ancestry again. This is what happened about 4 or 5 years ago. No, maybe more, about 4. No, when did Ancestry first start? About 3 years after Ancestry first started, I had a tree on there and loads of information. Exactly the same thing happened. Couldn't log into it. Had to authenticate myself with an older phone number. They won't let me change my older phone number to authenticate myself, so they won't send anything out by email. Did you know that? Is Ancestry a bit of a con? It's seeming like that. Tomorrow I'm going to get onto them, do a bit of a live chat, and I'm seeing a lot of people on Facebook doing family trees. There's loads of groups on Facebook regarding ancestry, family trees, and stuff like that. So bearing in mind, if I could get my tree up, we'd have to do it all mentally. I could show you family trees and surnames that are in my family, where they've come from. So if I go back through my English nan's side, grandmother, she's got Romany roots and Irish roots and Welsh roots, just like the average British person. And there's one line on there is the Donovan line, which goes back. You can go back and go back, and it goes back to it's a main O'Donovan line basically, and I've been researching that line and looking for DNA mutations within that surname to find out that we've got certain mutations that go back on that line. And I've done it with all the other lines as well at the minute. I've only done them to great-great-grandmothers because I contain the mutation. My mum's DNA has got that particular mutation. So I can only gather that I've inherited that from my mum, which is she's inherited from her mum, that she's inherited from her mum, and going back. But there's an awful lot of misinformation on Facebook regarding these surname groups and family tree groups, where people seem to have the surname. Primarily, they come from America, a lot of these people, and they what's the word? They seem to want to be an O'Donovan. They want to be what's another Irish one in my family? They want to be a Cotter. They want to be a Collins. And I've got quite a few spread lines. And when they've put in their family trees up, I can't find none of these lines. And what you'll find with a lot of American Irish immigrants is that they had one name when they was in Ireland. They emigrated with one name, and then they've totally changed their name. So these people who are going back and saying, oh, I come from this family tree, I come from this family tree, is not necessarily so. I've actually found that out on Ancestry as well. Don't take Ancestry for gospel, please, people. You've got your hints and tips on it. There's so much, I'm not going to say fake, it's wrong information where people have made themselves part of a family tree. So take the notice of the hints and tips on Ancestry, because last week when I could log in, thank you ancestry.com, there's so many different hints and tips. If I left it for a couple of months, it was an experiment because I was constantly doing my family tree. And I'm finding cousins and cousins and cousins, like we all do. Then I'm finding all these people that have got no DNA in common, yet the common ancestor is only 3 generations away, 4 generations away. So we should share a little something, obviously. If I've got 12 centimorgans with someone and I can find a common ancestor, then some of these people should have at least 30 centimorgans or whatever. Nothing. Totally nothing. Some of them are actually from different parts of the world. There's a few actual people where, like, for instance, I share a good percentage of centimorgans with a family in Jamaica. You'd think to yourself, oh, you don't look Jamaican, Johnny. You're a white guy. Yeah, but you can share 30, 40 centimorgans with someone that's got a different colour of the skin, a different ethnicity. But some of these people that are adding themselves to trees are the same colour. But when you look at their ethnicities, where they come from, totally different ethnicities and ancestry, but yet they've married themselves up to that particular tree and they've put ints and tips in. These are the ints and tips that are the wrong ones. Because I can't see how we're related. And it's a question that you will find yourself. You'll be sitting there doing your family tree, and you will get get to your great-great-grandmother's side, and you think, oh, 7 on that side, 3 on that side, so that's 10. And then you try and work out the trees coming down again, and these people aren't there. But you should share centimorgans on Ancestry. Now, why isn't Ancestry addressing this? What I've started doing is breaking down the family trees into surnames. So I'll have a Hardy family tree. I'll have a Cotter family tree, an O'Donovan family tree, the Bates' family tree, and then going back and then doing them ones just for something to do. And some of these instant tips I'm getting on the individual family trees are coming from my own family tree, obviously. But some of them are absolutely got wrong information from these people. They've had their test done. I've messaged some of them. They've had their DNA test done. We've got not one bit of DNA in common, but yet they should be on the family tree because they're using my relatives as their relatives. And this is what I'm saying. There's a lot of people that don't realise that when their families emigrated or migrated to other continents, i.e. America, Australia, New Zealand, that they changed their name completely. They could have picked a name of their neighbour for one reason or another. They just wanted a fresh start. Who can blame them? But please keep aware of that. I've had this with another family tree in, I think it was New Zealand or Australia, I think. Or does it encompass the two? With my Hardy tree. We had, to me, it would be a great uncle who got arrested in Shoreditch for stealing with a gang, and got sent out to Australia as a convict, which I do match up all my cousins in New Zealand. We all match up with each other. Very low centimorgans, but enough to go back and find out the common ancestor was Richard Hardy. They've got totally different information for him on a majority of the Hardy trees is for Richard Hardy. They've got different ages on his gravestone compared to his actual date of birth. And some of these families will not have it that he's my Richard Hardy. He's our Richard Hardy from Bethnal Green, Shoreditch. They got arrested. Now, I know this because my nan told me the family history. How the poor boy got arrested, convicted, sent off One of my cousins in New Zealand actually asked for information from what I was saying because it contradicted all the information on Ancestry. She come to the conclusion that you're right, I was right. She's give it out to a few of her family, which have looked at the information, and it's completely right what I was saying. So this is what gets me with the Ancestry. It must be on MyHeritage as well, and a lot of other things is don't necessarily believe what you're researching as gospel. Always go and do your own research. And if you can do it forensically and microscopically, then you will find yourself with a tree that is accurate. That's one of the things that grinds my gears at the minute. I could show you on, if I could log in, the amount of different hints and tips for this particular guy, Richard Hardy. We've even got families who say they was from Richard Hardy that categorically wasn't from Richard Hardy. There's 3 or 4 people in Ancestry who has tied themselves into this family, and not one centum organ shared with me, not one centum organ shared with my New Zealand cousins or Australian cousins either from that tree, which they should share with them because they're categorically from, it should be their great-great-grandfather. I'm finding really strange. So please don't believe the hints and tips on Ancestry. It will drive you mad. Absolutely drive you mad. I'm sorry that I haven't started this DNA channel up properly. I had every intention to come on tonight and go through it all with everyone. But I just wanted to give you a bit of a lowdown on Ancestry and how some people can be wrong and misled on Ancestry. Don't let Ancestry mislead you with hints and tips, and also don't be misled by, there's another thing that misleads people on Ancestry is you've got all these records from American religious organisations, and they're all lovely. They look like they're from the 1960s, been copied onto modern paper, from Ireland, from England, because a lot of databases have been sold to, is it the Mormons or something like that? Some of them are incorrect as well. Some of them have tied themselves in with families. I've found that as well, which is when you go back into the Irish records, the parish records, and that it's just totally wrong. It's very conflicting, especially with, you normally find it when you've got ancient names in ancient kings and queens of Ireland names, where everyone wants to be tied to a king and queen, or tied to royalty, or tied to something else and stuff like that. So bear in mind, please do your research, double check. If you can get 3 or 4 records from the actual source, like Ireland parish records, believe them over a copied version from an American religious organisation. Now this can be, you can use DNA to actually expose the misinformation regarding family trees, because you can always type in and find out all these other people who's got the wrong family tree down, and you can find out and click on their profiles. 7 out of 10 times people have done a DNA test and done a family tree. The other 3, sometimes it clicks up and they've not done a DNA test, and it won't show up. It won't tell you whether they've not done a DNA test or they have done a DNA test. So you're left thinking, well, I don't match with them. They might not have done a DNA test. You might match with them if they had done a test. but some of them haven't done a test. So you weave all that together, and there's a lot of misinformation from Ancestry. So I just thought I'd do this little quick video, 15 minutes. Thank you for watching. Hopefully we'll keep coming back to this DNA stuff, and I can log in tomorrow and I will do another video this week. Have a good day. Take care. God bless and good health.